So all the gay people in the community are happy with this election of Barack Obama, and I'm not really there. And it's not because I support Romney. Hell no. I mean, I think Romney was going to be a lot worse. We are going to have a lot of problems with that administration. I bet you not. Now, the thing is that with Obama, he's very weak. And let's see what happens with this fiscal cliff bullshit. Is he going to cave in? Is he going to betray the base? What's going to happen? And a lot of gay liberals seem to be like, well, he's a liberal like me. It doesn't matter. And, so because he has left cover, he can do whatever the hell he wants. No. Pretend that Obama is Bush, basically. Pretend that he is. Keep this guy on the chopping block. I mean, just because he's a liberal, that's it. We can go home and no, you're gonna have to keep your eyes open. See what happens with this fiscal cliff bullshit and the lame duck session. But we're not concerned about that, are we? Right? We're not concerned about what's gonna happen. We think, well, we elected him into the White House again on another second term. It's over. Or you like the Human Rights Campaign. You know what they said? Human Rights Campaign? Oh, we should have an out gay cabinet member. Well, I think you already have 2 cabinet members who are gay. I think Kathleen Sebelius is gay. And what's her face? Jenna Napolitano. Oh, ugh. That woman is hideous. Who would want to sleep with that thing? Fucking gargoyle. Jenna Napolitano. Or as Drudge Report calls her, Big Sis. Big Sis. Yeah. They couldn't even get a few of these drones operational fully. They keep crashing them. Oh yeah, I'm very scared about that. Human Rights Campaign though, that's kind of strange. I never heard that they ever did this in the past. And Chad Griffin, though, look, Chad Griffin, the new president of the Human Rights Campaign, he's doing a better job than what the previous president we had. Joe Salmonese, that little troll, walked away with a lot of money he made as president. But it seems to me that Chad Griffin is making more money than he is. They're paying him almost $500,000 a year, including the perks and benefits. Make me president of Human Rights Campaign, damn it. I could do way better things. You'll get more bang for your buck. I mean, I'll be at the White House and I'll be challenging Obama every day. And then I'll go to the Congress, challenge those people there, those stupid assholes. And get with it. Get with the program here. Now, what is this about the Human Rights Campaign trying to get an openly gay cabinet member? I don't know. I don't know what's the deal about that. Well, I mean, what do you accomplish with that? Isn't that reverse discrimination? It is, isn't it? I think there's already a executive order, no? It prohibits discrimination in appointments. Somebody find that out. I'm not gonna research that. I don't really care, but it seems to me that I think what the Human Rights Campaign is asking is really, I don't know, it's not that important. But it made it to the headlines. It made it to the gay newspapers. HRC calls for out LGBT cabinet member in second term. Hoping for further advances, the influential LGBT group also is calling for Obama to issue new protections for employees of federal contractors. Well, that was really fucked, wasn't it? And gay people seem to forget about that. That Obama promised in 2008 that he was going to sign this executive order, and it didn't happen. And actually, he backtracked and he said, "No, I'm not going to sign it anymore." What happened with that? Oh, don't worry, they say. He's gonna do it in the second term. That's why we elected him. That's why we endorsed him a year before he ran for office. It's kind of strange right there, too. Fresh off its best election night ever, the nation's largest LGBT organization is pushing President Obama to take a series of even bolder steps to advance their cause. Look, Obama is afraid to even talk to Ben Bernanke, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, to actually start issuing these century bonds, to start issuing credit for infrastructure. He's afraid to do that. He's afraid to do the most important things. What makes you think he's going to do this? First of all, that's one thing I want to ponder right now. But thing is that, so what? I mean, I don't care if the cabinet members are straight or gay. I mean, shouldn't we have that kind of attitude? Am I wrong? Am I going off base here? Am I crossing the line for saying that I don't care about the sexual orientation of my cabinet members and my government? I don't really care as long as they do what's right. Oh no, but we need a gay one in there. Why? I don't care. Okay, what would that do exactly? I don't get it. I mean, am I losing my mind here because I don't get this? Am I evil now because I think that sexual orientation shouldn't play in employment? Isn't that kind of funny? We're going to do reverse discrimination now. We're going to say, oh no, you're straight. We want a gay one now. We want a gay cabinet member. Well, who do you have in mind then if you want an openly gay cabinet member? You want Barney Frank to be what? Chairman of the Treasury? Secretary of the Treasury? Is that what you want? Because he did a lousy job as chairman of the banking committee. Human Rights Campaign President Chad Griffin told BuzzFeed on Wednesday that while he and his organization are happy with the progress the LGBT community made Tuesday, they'll be asking for, and expecting, by the way, more from Obama in his second term. It's one thing that you expect something from Obama, and it's another that you say, well, we're not just expecting something from Obama. We are going to make him do what we need to do. That would be my line of thought right there. That would be what I would say. Oh, we expect Obama. Don't expect anything from this guy. He's a liar. 2004, he changed his mind on gay marriage. By the way, 1996, he was in favor of gay marriage. Do you expect this guy to be honest with you? Really? Really, 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 really? Noting that we don't have the leadership in the House to pass legislation against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which really doesn't cover anything but employment and certain areas. What we need is Title VII. What is that, Jose? Title VII. Google it. We need Title VII to be expanded to gay people or sexual orientation and straight people because it covers both. You can't discriminate based on sexual orientation. If you're a gay club, you're going to have to, if straight people apply for jobs, you're going to have to hire them if they're qualified. I'm okay with that, as long as it's like, well, if you want to hire strippers, that's a whole different story. And there are straight guys who will strip for you, I guess. If they're hot, maybe. Noting that we don't have the leadership in the House to pass legislation against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which would ban nearly all private employers from discriminating against LGBT people, Griffin argued, this president could issue an executive order protecting federal contractors now. Oh, really? Well, when is he going to do that? Exactly. Oh, we don't know, but he's going to soon. We expect that from the president because we endorsed him a year before he ran for office. When did they endorse him? 2010? 2011, right? I think it was around 2011. 2011, they endorsed Obama. like a year and 3 months before the election. Talk about being planning ahead, right? The proposed executive order, which Obama declined to sign in April, would ban federal contractors from discriminating against employees based on sexual orientation or gender identity. It is modeled after a previous executive order banning contractors from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The White House said in April, said Obama was declining to sign the order at this time, but following the election, Griffin argues that Obama needs to sign it as soon as possible. Really. This is what we have as leadership. You know, Chad Griffin, I'm giving you a lot of leeway on this. He did a good job at AFR, the American Foundation for Equal Rights, but I don't know what happens when somebody becomes president of the Human Rights Campaign. They think they're the king of the gay community, and it just goes to their head. And then they think, well, here we have a Democrat president. He's gonna do it anyway. How do you know that? Why don't you put the gay community first, and then your politics, or maybe not at all your politics? Maybe fuck your politics. But Jose, Democrats are pro-gay. Not all the time. And I'll give you some few references and some few stories here, but I don't have that much time. You can look it up. Anti-gay Dem. Just punch that in Google. You'll find a lot of articles. From New York to Kansas to Idaho to New Mexico, by the way. Here in Arizona, there's anti-gay Dems everywhere. What are you talking about? The first time I voted, when I was 18, I had to vote between an anti-gay Democrat and a very anti-gay Republican for my House Assembly in California. And who did I vote for? I voted for the Libertarian guy, because he's the one that only was approving of gay marriage and other things. Back then, Libertarians were a little bit more sensible. Now, because of the tea-bagging phenomenon, that everybody wants no government. The White House said in April, first of all, Griffin said he doesn't know if it will happen before the end of the year, but added that he is pushing for it, saying, since my first conversation there, it's something I pushed for. I've urged privately and publicly. We will continue to do that. Well, exactly how is he urging? Does he sit around at a round table like the Knights of Camelot or something? King Arthur's round table? And it just says, I think we should have an executive order. Okay, we'll think about it. Is that what you're doing? Really? That's really going to get us somewhere, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's really going to stop discrimination. You might say, Jose, you're being too rough on this guy. Well, look. Sometimes these issues are life and death, are urgent. Well, not really life and death, but they're urgent. I mean, there are people out there who are getting fired for being gay, and they lose their livelihoods. Already, I have emails. I get emails and reports from various people around the country telling me that they're being fired for being gay. And what's going on with that? Nothing. Oh, the teabaggers took over the house. Well, do something about that. Do something about that. Not just the election, but there are things that we can do within the Congress. Maybe I'm more optimistic. Well, maybe I'm more a little bit pragmatic. Yes. I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little bit more goal-oriented. I'm a little bit like, I know what steps that we can take. And believe me, I can run for Congress, but I don't want to. Because then I become like them. And why should I become like those clones? The problem is that our political culture is really become so corrupt, so artificial and plastic. There's no passion anymore. There's no, we know what's wrong with our current system. There's discrimination going on in many states. We have to ban it, and we're going to do that by March, by June, by summer. We're going to get Boner, John Boner. We're gonna get Boner. We're gonna get John Boner to sit down with us, and we're not gonna leave this room until we get something out. That's how you get things passed. Don't just say, "Oh well, we sat down in a Knights round table and we discussed this, and I urged them." I'm not gonna urge anybody. I'm gonna make them do it. And no, you don't have to be really, crude or something like that. But there are ways to do so, politely, of course. Democrats can pass on a few things that the teabaggers want that is not that that are not that damaging to the economy, and they can say, "Hey, if you want to pass those things, well, why don't we pass ENDA? If it's really important, we should pass it." Well, okay, fine, pass it. But I don't know. And this whole thing about getting the Chad Griffin. Look, I don't know what makes you believe that getting a gay person in the cabinet is going to be anything better. I just don't know. I can understand probably a congressman or a senator, maybe. They may have more influence on these issues. And because that's where the legislation begins, is in Congress. But the cabinet, cabinet ministers are there to execute some few things. And I don't know, having a gay cabinet member, yeah, would be nice for them because they get a job. What about us? It's just all symbolism. That's what it really is. That's what it comes down to. Instead of concrete policies, concrete legislation. Well, where is that coming? Where is that, Chad Griffin? It's nowhere. It's fantasy. It's invisible. Groups like HRC, the Gay Lesbian Victory Fund, and others, as well as LGBT activists, more broadly, have long been pushing for an LGBT cabinet member, and the urging is likely to continue in earnest as Obama makes changes in his second-term cabinet. Well, why don't you force what's-her-face, Jenna Napolitano, to come out? I bet you a lot of lesbians will be screaming far away from that. They'll be running away from that shit. Believe me. That bitch looks like a fucking gargoyle. Among those out gay people whose names are raised most often by advocates for possible appointments are John Barry, the head of Office of Personnel Management, Fred Hochberg, the head of the Export-Import Bank, and Mary Kay Henry, the head of the Service Employees International Union. Oh, for the Labor Department? Yeah, but these people got there because, well, unless they suck cock or something like that, did some favors. But I bet most of them got there because they did hard work. They didn't get there because they're gay. I don't know. This whole sense of entitlement that we are entitled to cabinet positions, that's not really going to help us. Actually, it goes against our ideals, doesn't it? We shouldn't be judging people based on their sexual orientation. Then why are we doing this then? What the hell is this going on? Somebody explain this to me, please. Whatever. But there you go. We want a gay cabinet member. That's going to help everybody. Seriously.